Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Our Minds number 9. Um, if you are new and you have no idea what's going on, this is a simple podcast where basically me and my friend Varun, who unfortunately is not here today, so I'm alone in the boat. So I won't really be like talking too much about like random stuff. It's more like I actually prepared something here, more like some personal reflection between you and I, whoever's listening. So yeah, it's gonna be like a sort of like I guess like a therapy kind of thing. I mean, not really. Like I wouldn't say like I have the best advice. I mean, yeah, like I want to talk about like some advice, like I don't know, just things that I always keep thinking about. Yeah, and for new listeners, we usually talk about like anything that has like any sort of like senior significance, because this is our senior year and we want to talk about stuff that has gone on through our senior year. So yeah, if you would like to listen to our other podcasts, which I think you totally should, you should just go back and take a listen. But for now, since you are here, the usual question I start with is, how does our week go? Before I answer that, yes, Varun is not here today, so it will get quiet and I guess awkward at times, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately he's not here. He's currently in some like Model UN kind of like trip. He won't be back until Mondays, and today is a Saturday. So yeah, we can't just wait for that. So we all hope that Varun has a nice safe trip, and does well in his debate thing or whatever it is. So yeah. Anyways, let's get started. Let's see. How did my week went? And I also want to ask you guys, like, since this is more of like a me and you thing, like try to think about like the same questions I asked for myself. So, how does your week go? That's the usual question we always start with. Think about like, I know like one of the main things this week was Halloween, and yes, I will talk about Halloween in just a second, but like overall, I think it's been a pretty slow week. Actually, well, there was another thing that I will talk about too. The first thing I want to talk about is obviously Halloween. So Halloween, how did it go? Not gonna lie, like I think Halloween was probably my most fun this year. Out of all the years I've done participated in Halloween, this was definitely the most fun one. I think it's mainly because of the people I hung out with this Halloween. Despite school, like I went through school with my costume and everything. I mean, when I went to school today, I dressed up as Pikachu. Same thing as last year, but you know, like I actually really liked the costume, and I didn't feel like spending more money for it. So yeah, I wanted to like get into the spirit one last time, because you know I'm not gonna do that again. Well, at least with the trick-or-treating part, like I think I'm too old for that now. Us seniors are too old to do that stuff. Or if anything, like you guys would probably do like bull hunting or something like that, or parties. Yeah, but trick-or-treating is just like it's over. Yeah, so we went through school. I didn't do too much during school. Not that I could think of. It just felt like a pretty normal day actually. So yeah, I went through that. But after school is what was more fun. So we started I'm gonna go all out and like explain the exact like scenario of like how my Halloween went. So my Halloween, it was like we not gonna lie, like everyone was like not prepared. Like there was like so many people that was like not prepared. Like I was trying to like hastily gather people like the day before on like plans of like what we're gonna do. And this was like 4:30, so the group we agreed that was gonna go agreed on 4:30. So we all met up at like 4:30. People started showing up like 15 minutes later when I showed up at 4:30. So it was me, Varun at first. Varun was there, like he was just waiting, and then I drove up. I made it there on time. So it was just me and Varun. Then our good old friend Yakub came. He was wearing some like kind of greaser or like the Outsiders kind of outfit, which I think was actually pretty lit for someone who didn't like, who made up a costume on the spot. And then Jason pulled up, and later on we had, who else do we have? Oh yeah, Alvin showed up too. Yeah, Alvin showed up, and then Jason showed up, and then then Aiden and Bright showed up last. So there was about like, I think there were 6 or 7. I'm trying to think. Wait, so me, Varun, Alvin, Yakub, Jason. Did I count Alvin? Damn, I'm trying to think. Wait, 3 in the back, 2 in the middle. The 7, yeah, it was 7. Okay, it was 7. I'm just being stupid right now. So yeah, there was 7 of us. It was only us 7. So, Bright was the one who pulled up. When he pulled up, he was like right next. Like he was pulling up with his car like right next to us, because we decided to go for a head start and get some candy already. But we all like decided to like, hey, let's go to Garden City instead, because like Garden City has like all the great candy. And so we did. So we all hopped into Bright's car, and we said some pretty insane things that I will not say, because it's not too kid friendly, we'll say that. Yeah, so we went through that, and we found a spot in Garden City, and yeah, we started trotting our way throughout the neighborhood, and we did this for like an hour, almost 2 hours, like just going around, just constantly going and just getting candy. And not gonna lie, like half of us were running to like get candy and half of us weren't, because like I wasn't one of those people that ran for it, because I was like, I don't know, I just don't have the energy anymore to do something like that, and it was cold, so I didn't feel like it. But besides that, I think, yeah, I think we got like a decent amount. So then we did that, and then we went back. Eventually we had to go back because it was already getting dark and we already got bored. So so Brett was like, yo, I'm gonna make a quick pit stop to Taco Bell real quick. I'm like, okay. So we all make our way to Taco Bell, and not gonna lie, like me personally, I hate Taco Bell. Like I actually don't like Taco Bell. And anyone who's gonna tell me like Taco Bell's good, I'm sorry, but like authentic Mexican tacos are like so much better. So yeah, I just don't like Taco Bell. It's just gross. So I didn't decide to stay in Taco Bell actually. Like I just decided to like walk out and just continue, like since there were houses nearby, I just decided to just continue getting more candy. So I was like alone, and then Varun found out I was alone too, so he just went to go look for me. So we were just sort of just walking around talking, and then eventually we made our way back. So that happened, and then one of the moments, like when we were going to HES, I want to put the video up, but the listeners would not understand or see what's going on, so I won't put it. But basically, it's just basically like a short little bit that we did where basically Bright was just like our dad, and then like we're just constantly complaining and being annoying. I think the best part about the whole Halloween thing was just like simply having the car ride in Bright's car. It was so funny. Like I wish you guys would be there, but it was so funny. So eventually we made it our way to HGS, and honestly, the side at HGS is like so dead. It's so dead, so dark, and like the candy, there's no one literally cares. No one in HGS cares about Halloween anymore, and it's sad. But we still like went around a little bit and just like, you know, still hung out. Eventually we made our way back to HGS, which is our like usual tradition kind of thing, where we just trick or treat around. Like the whole point of like doing this, it was more like a sentimental kind of thing. Like me, I am a very sentimental guy, so like I really like to do things that like have a significance to me. So I wanted to go trick-or-treating again this year. That's why I decided to do it, not like do some stupid party or whatever, or just hang out. So yeah, and going to HGS was like one of our like usual tradition. I guess we could just call it a tradition. Like it's one of the usual traditions we do. We just go to the HGS, take our group flick, and then just hang out there until we all have to leave. And that's what we did. We went back, and then we went all the way. We actually walked all the way to HGS, and halfway there, my brace. I realized that my brace, or the wire in my braces, was broken. So I was rocking with a broken wire in my mouth, and that was not fun. But I still pulled through anyways. And when we made it to the HGS, I it's funny because like recently HGS and like all the other like elementary schools that were like related to it, like a district kind of thing, they were all upgraded their playgrounds, right? So I never actually seen it. And when they did upgrade it, it was like almost like past a year ago, and I actually never been on the playground since. So this was my first time actually being on the playground, and it actually sort of excited me, not gonna lie. It was actually pretty huge. Like I think I really like the new one, but I miss the old one. Yeah, we took our group flick there. It was awesome. And like I guess we had to cut it short because like it was already getting late, so we just ended it off there. And yeah, that was basically my Halloween. Honestly, I didn't get too much candy, but like the candy I did get, it was pretty good. I think I got a good haul. I don't know if I got more than last year, but yeah. The next thing I actually want to talk about is the basically, well, it's not like, yeah, not, it was like a pretty slow week. Like there was not much, but I mean something did happen on Friday. Like I guess like it's one of the things I could think about. So basically there's like this Hofstra onsite that like that was happening that week, and the day before like the actual onsite, I actually forgot to like book an appointment. so so I had to book an appointment like literally after school ended the day before, and they were able to like put me in, right? So I was like, okay, cool. But the thing I didn't realize is that there's an interview that you had to do in the Hofstra onsite admission, and I actually didn't know that. Like what I was thinking was that they would just like look into your like application for like at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then they'll tell you right then and there like, okay, cool, you're accepted. Like I thought that's it. I thought it wouldn't take more than that. But there's an interview, and what's worse is that I was told the day of. So like I was sort of screwed because like I didn't know how to prepare for it is one thing. So I started like, so like I was doing this in my CTE class. Like my teacher was even helping me. He was like, as a class we should all help each other like for the future and everything. I'm like, okay. So he's like, so search up some questions on what the college would usually ask. So I did that, and we started going through it because like I actually had no idea how to answer it, like some of these like dumb college question interviews or whatever the hell. So yeah, I hastily made one. And I wasn't able to I guess like get my answers down into my head well enough, because like I knew I was forgetting some stuff to say. Excuse me there. Just drinking some water. You know, you gotta stay hydrated, you know what I'm saying? Water is very important for y'all. But yeah, so not only that, but how I was dressed was another issue too. Like you have to dress like business casual or business formal or whatever the hell. Like a lot of people that I saw that were doing the onsite, they were like rocking like suits, dresses. Like this was like it's like we're going for like some kind of like marriage or something. Like there's like something serious going on. So I was rocking some like green crew neck, gray sweatpants, and these like gray Converse shoes. And I was like literally not prepared at all. But the funny thing is that I was like my prayers have like been answered or something, because like what happened is that back at NHP while I was at Tawanica, some old person actually crashed into a pole that literally knocked all the power out in NHP. So not only the power, but it also knocked out the Wi-Fi, knocked out all the electronics. Like you could not do anything. And our school depends on like Wi-Fi and the electronics actually. Like they've been more dependent on it each year, because like Most of our assignments are on there. Most of the lessons are on electronics. The officers, well, yeah, the admissions officers needed internet to like access our transcripts and everything, so they couldn't access that. And because of that, NHP was actually even thinking about evacuating everyone. So we the okay yeah, like the whole point is like they didn't actually evacuate, but the admissions officer actually left because they couldn't do anything at that moment. So they were like, hey, and like it was unfair to some of the students because like the students that were taking the interview when that happened, that means their interview was just like completely interrupted. Like they can't, like they have to like either reschedule it or just like not take it, which is unfair. So they just canceled the whole thing. And luckily for me, I did not had to deal with that. Like I did not have to go through the on-site, so I'm so lucky that I did not have to go through it and like make myself look like a clown. But now I have to like actually prepare for every single college that I put on site. I have to research now, and like that's not an issue. It's just like I didn't think there would be an interview for like every single one of them, so I'm gonna have to prepare like really well for each of them. So yeah, that's gonna be quite a hassle. But yeah, that's really my week. I mean, I guess you want to talk about some tests, but that's really boring. I know everyone has tests, so I won't even ask about that. There is a big weekend though. Like this weekend, it's a 4-day weekend actually, and then 2 days of school, and then we're off on Friday again, which is pretty lit, honestly. Like actually wasn't expecting something like that to happen. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's really it about my week. I hope you guys were able to think about your weeks too. Like I'm trying to make this like more like a one-to-one conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because like usually like I would be talking to Varun about this kind of thing, and you guys would just listen about our conversations. But since he's not here, and I just don't want to ramble about myself the whole time, I sort of want to make this like a conversation. So one of the things I actually really want to talk about is that we like the simple fact that we are seniors, and this is literally our last year. So like I don't want to like be that guy like say, oh my god, we graduate in a couple months, but like we gotta face it. Like it's literally in a couple months. We're almost done with high school, and I'm so not ready to like let go of it. Like that's like it's just like it feels like I just started high school. Like high school is like not even close to being done yet, but like it's already here. This is it. We're all growing, and we're all going to college. Well, most of us are. If you choose not to go to college, then that's cool too. Hope you do well in life. I want to see, like, I just want to like try to enjoy all of our time together, you know. Like I want to make sure that at least everyone's able to make some kind of memory during high school or senior year of high school, because like why would you want to go away from your senior year without anything to like hold on to when you grow up? So that's one thing. Like you guys have to, or whoever is listening, take advantage of this year and like enjoy your time with yourself, with your family, with your great high school fellow friends that you've grown up with since day one, and just make more memories, because this is it. I mean, you may see 1 or 2 people from your school, from your high school and college, but like you may not even talk to them. So talk to them now. If you're scared of talking to someone and you want to be their friend, do it right now. I mean, that's something I should tell myself, but you know, I don't know why. I can't take my own advice. And another thing is, don't stress anymore. Like, I mean, maybe right now is crunch time. We all got to submit our apps and everything, but like, don't put the stress too much. Like, don't let it get to you, because we're supposed to enjoy our time, like I said earlier. So keep doing well like you do in school, if you are doing well in school, that is. But also relax at the same time. Relax whenever you can, because There's no need to do that. It's so unnecessary to just constantly stress, worry, or be on edge about assignments and tests and everything. But don't be too relaxed to the point where you're going to start failing every class right now. Right now, we need to lock in, but eventually that could tone down a little. And yeah, that was just a quick little bit I wanted to talk about for just simple fact that we're seniors. Is there anything else I want to talk about as being a senior? Oh, yes. The things that we are offered this year, like seniors only, like I guess you could say like senior week or senior prom. If you're not thinking about like at least participating or doing it, you should reconsider, because once again, it's our last year, so you might want to reconsider some things that you won't be able to do in college that you could have done in high school. Like the whole point I'm saying is like, don't go out of high school with regrets. At least, well, maybe you will have regrets either way, like maybe from the past, but at least with your senior year with regrets, because like it's the most important year. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm thinking about it. Like I'm just thinking like how, like this like for example, like for me, this podcast is like the biggest thing for me for my senior year. So I'm trying to hold on to it as much as possible, being very consistent with it, being very persistent with me and Varun, that like we have to keep doing this every single week, even if we have nothing to talk about. So yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is some advice. It's some advice I struggle with or bother me, which is a little more personal for the viewer, but it could be relatable, and I want to talk about that with y'all. So, the first thing I want to talk about is having no confidence with myself, or it could be with yourself. The thing is that this new generation, right? This new generation is like, it's so fucked. It's really so fucked. You could do anything and someone could like twist it and just like make something bad out of you. And that's something we all fear about, or at least most of us fear about. That's why like everyone's so quiet. That's at least what I think. When I'm at school, I always see everyone just looking down at their phones, have their AirPods or headphones or whatever. I mean, there are some people that are talking with their friends, obviously, but it's not the same. There's like something different. I mean, I'm not saying that everyone has to be confident, but like you shouldn't be so down on yourself. You shouldn't be so like, because you have no confidence, it like contributes to like having negative thoughts and having, I guess, low self-esteem and stuff like that. But give yourself enough confidence where you'll be like where you'll be in like a happy state with yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. And my advice is, like, for myself and for you, if you are struggling with confidence, is like, don't overthink what people think about your actions or appearance, because what's the funny thing is that people simply don't care about you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like they don't care about you, so they don't care about your feelings. Like I'm saying, like, they don't care what you do. Like, if you like go up to a girl, or if you're a guy, all right, guy, you know what? Okay, if you go up to a person, say that you like them, like say, hey, I think you're really cute. I think you're really pretty, handsome, whatever. No one's gonna care. Even the person that you tell, like, if they say that, like, oh, thank you, but I'm not really interested, or something bad that like you wouldn't expect. It's just, they're not gonna like go off and tell the whole school that like, hey, this person said that I'm cute. This person's like really ugly though. Like, don't think that, because they don't really care. They don't really care. Like, the only time that they would care is if it's for a good reason, like if it's for a good outcome, like if they really take it well. So like if they, so once again, like I said, like if you tell someone they're cute and the person that is told that they're cute, like they actually like that compliment, then they'll think about it, they'll actually care about it. But if they take it in a bad way, then they're not gonna care. Like at the end of the day, like give it like minutes, maybe even like a day or two, they've already forgotten about that. Like it's just not a big deal. So whenever you see an opportunity for something that you want to do, just do it. Honestly, like it'll help with your confidence. It'll help you understand that you could do whatever you want, and that's like something I should do too. Like I'm trying to get myself to do things I normally wouldn't do at school, and start to do that. Like I feel like, and I know you guys would like feel the same way. Like there's like some sort of like invisible barrier that's causing you to hesitate or to not do it. But once, I feel like most of y'all, like if you realize that, if you like do it, realize it, and actually like go through with it, it'll feel more liberating. And I need to find that eventually I will, but at this moment I'm just trying to learn how to do that. You have to also be more forgiving and kind to yourself. I feel like most people, I think I already said this, I can't remember like what I'm saying, I just keep rambling about a bunch of stuff. But you don't need to be so down on yourself, because if you're always constantly thinking bad, then how are you going to get confidence in the first place? Like you need to build your mindset. I think that's another thing. Like when you're so down with yourself, you completely fuck up your mindset. You completely think irrationally and you don't think right. So you need to like realize that you're talking to yourself about negative things, and you need to get those negative things out and put more like good things in your head. You need to be more positive with yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So like you can also do like a bunch of things that like positively contribute to your health too. Like being very like careful with your health is another thing that can help with your confidence. Like simply taking care of yourself by like actually eating right, getting the right amount of sleep, and yada yada. Like I guess you could say like going to the gym and getting some physical activity or exercise. Or you could also like spend more time with your friends and family if that's what you like to roll with. And there are some other things that you could do with yourself alone, like listening to music, or some people even find doing work is therapy for them. So yeah. Well, like fun work, obviously. So yeah. I think that's just the one thing that if someone who's not confident, you just need to constantly work on yourself. The next thing I want to talk about is relationships. The bad thing about it though. So I'm talking about like heartbreak or breaking up with someone. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about for other people I know, like other friends I know that have gone through it. I've had friends who gone through breakups, gone through heartbreaks actually, and obviously I had to be there for them. And I actually just want to address that. I just want to like talk about that overall in a podcast episode, because like, you know, if you've been through if you have not been through a heartbreak, then good for you. But if you have been, I want to talk about how would you get over it, because that's the thing. People struggle on getting over a person, and it's just hard, like especially if you like knew this person really well, or if you had a chance with them, like if you knew you had a chance with them but you were wrong, or if you were led on, if you were like cheated on, or whatever it is, depending on the severity, it could really affect you hard. So the one general thing that could help you get over them is just time. Like, depending on you or whoever else, it could take like weeks. It could. Oh, and my PC just turned off. My bad. I didn't move my mouse for a bit, so it just sort of turned off my screen. So yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Time. So time is just the best thing that works for anyone generally. Yeah. Depending on the person, it could take weeks, months, maybe even years, or maybe you may not never even get over them. But I like to say that time is usually the best way for someone to get over someone. The thing with time though is that people usually take way too long to actually get over him when other people know that it shouldn't take too long to get over. And I've had that friend who's like always like who I thought they were already over, but they really were not. And I just want to say that like when I feel like they're just constantly beating themselves up over it every single time. Like you have to do whatever it takes to get over them. Maybe you have to unfollow them on their socials or just completely cut contact with them. But maybe even simply getting like closure can help too. But through all that, it's very unnecessary to beat yourself up. I think it's just that you need to go through that kind of like stages of grief. Like it's not really stages of grief, but I like to say like it's stages of grief. So when it first happens, you go through grief, then you go through depression and desperation for getting over them. But of course, there's a way to fix that. The only thing is that it's up to you to fix that, though, to get over them. Like, if you never go through that realization and acceptance, it's just impossible. You're never ever gonna get over them. So I'd like to say, you need to accept it. While you're taking the time to figure out how to get over them and helping yourself, like putting your mind off of them, going to the gym, that's what a lot of guys do, or whatever to help you just like distract it and keep your mind further away from it. You need to eventually come to the point that you need to accept it. Like my mom told me that like when one door closes, another door opens. So it's another thing. Like give yourself some hope that when your heartbreak, like when you finally experience a heartbreak, you should know for a fact that you will eventually find a person to love in some way. In some way, and someday is the phrasing I want to put it. So yeah. Don't be so hopeless. Like I always tell everyone that like eventually you will find that right person. Like they're out there somewhere. If you don't find them now, you'll definitely find them later. And sometimes if you don't find them for a long time, there's probably something you have to do to find that person. Like there's probably like a certain action or a certain kind of like thing you have to do with yourself or in life that you have to do to find that person. Like your path will help you find it. So don't look so down at the future. Don't keep looking down, keep your head up. And the last thing I want to talk about is ghosting. And this one really sucks. Like there's just I've known so many people who've gone through ghosting. I mean, I even been ghosted too. But the important thing is that if someone does this, you need to know, like if they do this to you, you need to know that it isn't your fault at all. Like I know the first reaction that someone who would go through ghosting is like they would be more confused and they would just be confused on like why would they do this? Um, like I could give you some reasons, but like I don't think these will help. Like the main reason I think is that they chose to do it. Like either they like lost interest, maybe you did something, maybe you didn't even do anything, but whatever it is, they're just being selfish. That's what I like to conclude with. They're just a selfish person, and they just want to take the easy way out instead of just being taking the hard way and actually confronting someone. Like it's really easy to go someone. All you gotta do is just not say anything anymore, and that's why people do it. That's why people do it so often. Especially when they lose interest, they like if you don't want to show interest anymore, people usually just ghost it because it's the easy way to show that, hey, I'm not into you, or something like that. But it's kind of rude to do it that way, and I guess people don't realize people who do that, they don't take they don't take into consideration of other people's feelings. As I said earlier, there'll also be another person out there who will treat you better than the last one. That was a quick one, but it's just something that happens a lot in this generation. Like overall in this generation, like this generation is like it's kind of different. I'll say that, especially with like people with like all these like new terms I've never heard of, like this skibbity toilet or whatever the hell it's called. People are like using the wrong word of gyat and people overusing the word riz. I mean, I even overuse the word riz, so I can't really say anything. But like, it's just been different as of right now. And honestly, I personally don't like it. I mean, whoever's listening, you probably would agree too. Like definitely back then, and like I guess we could say like 10 years ago, 2013, life was so much better. It was so much more simpler too. I personally like think it's the technology. Like every year when like 10 years ago, obviously the technology was not that advanced. We had like iPhone 4s or something like that. Like really, really crappy iPhones. Like now we have like TikTok and like these insane apps on our phones to do whatever. But that's really just like ripping our whole society apart, especially for us teens. Like the social media and the technology, the combination of those two literally kill our generation. And that's something I don't like, but you know, as someone who's like obsessively addicted with technology and social media, I can't really like say too much without sounding like a hypocrite. But I know you guys would agree with me that like you could even say that like social media has had a mental toll on everyone, including you, the listener or viewer. But just for a quick little advice, if you think you're going through, like you're just completely either physically actually exhausted with social media, or I guess the usual term is mentally exhausted, think about taking a break. Like at least with social media, like we can't live without the phones. That's the thing. We can't live without technology. Like we're gonna need technology to get through a day. I mean, it's possible to go without it, but it's just like usually most of our workload is using technology, so we need the technology to help us like get through the workload easily. But you know, if you have nothing to do, if you have nothing that you need to do without using social media or technology itself, then consider taking a break. Me personally, I can't. Like I'm actually like way too obsessed with technology. Yeah, so the technology is just like you need to take a break sometimes. Me personally though, I can't stay away from it because I can't live without it. But if you can, consider it. Except you have to also listen to this podcast too. That's the only trade-off. The last thing I also want to talk about some, since we're trying to do some conversations here. Well, not really. Like, it's just like you listen to me, and you try to like imagine all the things in your head. Also, want to talk about some personal reflection questions. I don't know. I like thinking about these kind of things. Like, these kind of things is just something I find pretty fun. And if you don't, then that's okay. Next week we'll have another conversation with just me and Varun, or maybe we might even have a guest next week. So yeah. I do have a couple questions. This is gonna be a short episode too, so I won't keep you guys here too long. There's not much I could do anyways because Varun's not here. The first question I want to talk about is, what are you most proud of during high school? And I want you guys to actually think about this, because I'm trying to like get you guys to actually like be interactive with me throughout this whole episode. So what are you the most proud of during high school? Like, there obviously has to be something you are proud of, like a good test grade, or some academic reward, like an honor society kind of thing, or maybe even in your social life, like making new friends, making new or more friends actually. Or you could be, so there's something proud of yourself, like working on yourself, like your appearance, your mindsets, your goals, whatever. Like me personally, that's a good question. I gotta think about it now. Like, what am I most proud of during high school? I think I'm most proud of the friends I made throughout high school, despite the things I've been through. Like, I'm starting like in terms of like ninth, or you know what? No, in terms of seventh grade. Like, I mean, like seventh and eighth grade. Not gonna lie, I was quite a loser in seventh and eighth grade. I think we were all losers in seventh and eighth grade. Like, no doubt. Like, I could ask you guys, like, what is your most embarrassing moment from seventh to eighth grade, and you guys would definitely have something. Either that, or you guys would probably say, my 7th and 8th grade was so boring because I did not do anything during those years. And honestly, that's really relatable, but I did have some embarrassing moments during that time, and we're not going to talk about that. But the things I've been through, I'd like to say, oh yeah, definitely like something like COVID, for example. And I guess stressing throughout high school with the classes I've taken. I'm not really good, like, I wouldn't say like I'm the smartest kid, but I wouldn't say like, I'd say like I'm pretty average. I'm like smarter than average. So like a little, I'd say above average. That's where I like to land myself. Maybe I'm just being too humble, or maybe I don't know, maybe I'm being too humble, but that's why I like to think I am. Yeah, those two things. It was really just COVID and the testing, or the really hard classes I had to go through, made things socially hard for me. Cause especially with COVID, all I could do was just look at a screen all day, 24/7. Well, obviously I get off sometimes, but I go on my phone, so that doesn't really change anything. So, yeah. I would say that there's actually, you know what? Let's talk about COVID a little bit. You know, why not? Why not? It's only an effort to drag this episode a little longer, so I don't want to talk too much about it, because obviously for some people it's been pretty bad for them. So I won't get too much into it, but I will want to ask, what was your favorite part about it? Because my favorite part was honestly just like waking up like 10 minutes before school and just knowing that I don't have to get ready and I don't have to eat. I mean, I could eat during class, so all I had to do is just wake up at like some point and just literally log on and just listen. I don't have to do anything, I don't have to say anything except for attendance, obviously. And yeah, but I mean, it did sort of suck because in 9th grade I started with French. I didn't after COVID happened, like, I completely forgot all my French skills, and that does suck, because if it never happened, I definitely would be pretty good at French. I personally think I would. But I want you guys to think about too, like, what was your favorite part? It could be about the online classes. I guess that could be one thing, because like you didn't have to like actually interact with it, or maybe hanging out with your like being able to hang out with your friends literally every single day online. But if I were to ask the opposite and say what sucked, I know a lot of people would say how I wasn't able to see anyone anymore, at least for a while. I just ran out of water because I just drank this whole bottle. Damn. Oh man, this coughing is killing me, guys. Sorry. You guys definitely are not hearing it because I'm cutting it out. It's just I don't want you guys to hear me like coughing my brains out. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, like what you guys probably don't like, not being able to see anyone, or, if I were to think, I mean that's probably the biggest thing. I guess the classes itself, like, people are not used to online classes. Like, online classes, I think, in my opinion, are so ineffective. Like, it's so hard to pay attention when you know there's so much other technology you could use and get yourself distracted with, because it's obviously more entertaining than listening to a teacher ramble on over a screen. And I obviously do so much better in person. But that's just me. If I were to think of anything else, I guess like there's like a lot of like limited options in terms of entertainment. Like the only forms of entertainment was just like TikTok, YouTube, any social media app. Yeah, really just the devices once again. So yeah, that's really it. So there wasn't really much to do at home. Maybe besides hanging out with your family. But that's it. I think that's really it. Like, those are the top 3 things I could think of. Despite that though, that was a fun little side bit that I just talked about there. Let's go to the next question actually. Are you holding on to someone or something that you need to let go of? And this really ties back to like your relationships and friendships, but if I want to add this question because again, it ties back into it, so I want to see if there is something that you're still struggling with that you actually need to realize to let go of. Like, it's just more like I'm checking on you kind of question, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, did you realize that you're still sort of holding on to this sort of kind of thing? So yeah. I hope you have an answer for that for yourself. Like, no one literally answers the Q&A questions I put up, but it's okay. I'm just gonna put up a random Q&A or something like that. Yeah, like there could be something like I like to think like if there is someone, like I'm seeing specifically for someone, if you truly love them, the best decision you will make is letting them go. So just think about that person in terms of someone that you truly love, and obviously you haven't talked to them in a while, or you're having grudges over them. Just let them go. That's the best thing you could do for yourself and for them, because you're hurting yourself, but you're also hurting them too, even though they're actually not there to actually see it. For something, if it's something that's like negatively affecting you, then you should really realize that, like, hey, come on, this thing is not helping you in any sort of way, so I think it's time to just throw that out. Move on. That's the best thing I could say. And the last question I want to talk about, and this is really like the last thing I wrote for what I prepared for today. What worries you the most in the future? So I'm talking about, since we're seniors right now, think about, I guess, if you're not going to college, your job. What are you going to do for a job? what do you want to do in life? And for college, what do you plan on doing in college? Like, what do you want? What is the biggest thing you want to do in college? Like, I mean, I could think that most people just want to say, like, hey, I just want to get a career from what I learned in college. But besides that, is there anything else that is, like, much more, I guess you could say, fun? A fun kind of goal. I guess my kind of goal is, like, since I wasn't too social in high school, like, I always grew up to be an introvert. Like, maybe I could have not been an introvert if it wasn't for me being a shutout during elementary. But my main goal for college is to be more social. That's really it. Like, come out of my shell and make more friends, make new friends, make a lot of good friends, because I don't want to go into like, the biggest fear I have for college, not only about, like, my career, but also, like, going in there alone. You do not want to go to college alone. Please, for the love of God, do not go to college alone. You need to get yourself friends. So when you go to college, you better make sure you go to any social event or any, like, join clubs, do community service, do anything to get yourself endorsed into the community, because you do not want to go through the whole year alone. Trust me, it's not going to be good for your health, and no one's going to be there for you. So, yeah, consider having yourself some friends. Even if you suck at, like, talking to people, at least try. Because as I said earlier, like, people don't care about your actions. So don't overthink it. Just go in. You don't need a plan or anything, because when you start thinking of a plan, you're going to start overthinking it. So just go in with no plan and just talk. So remember that. Like, the future can only either get more bright or grimmer. So you need to have a plan and have goals. And remember that your actions, like, in terms of academically, contribute to your path in life. So you need to also worry about your work-life balance, I guess you could say. Like, you need to worry about how many connections you have, how much time you spend studying, and also the amount of debt you're going to be in, because that's going to be another thing that you're going to have to deal with. So think about all those three things when you walk into college. Think about how many friends you want to get, how much connections do you want, and how are you going to get those connections. With academics, how much time do you want to put into studying, and how much of a commit, like, are you gonna put more time into academics and studying, or do you want to put more time into connections? Like, if you're just really focusing on getting yourself a career, then obviously you want the academics, but try to balance both of those two. And also keep in the back of your mind that you have a lot of debt to pay, so make sure you also get a college job too. I plan on getting a college job. I'm so sad that I didn't get a college job at all. Or not college job, a high school job. I wanted to get a job during high school so I could actually buy stuff. I know my parents literally told me, or at least my dad did, like, don't worry about it, I'll give you money. But, like, it just feels wrong to just take daddy's money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, get one this year. If not, then I guess I definitely will go for one next year, or when I get into college. Yeah. Also, I like to say that Stony Brook is my top 1 college. So if you guys are thinking about Stony and you guys get in, I'll definitely see you there. Or I probably won't, because we probably all have different majors. But either way, Stony is a great place. If I don't get in there, because it's sort of a reach school for me, because I didn't do too well on my SAT, and I didn't do enough leadership or community service in my life. So there you have it. That's a couple things I regret. Not doing well enough in school and not putting myself out there. That's a couple things I regret, but I feel like I could have gotten so much higher than I am right now. And yeah, that sort of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I know I'm capable of making so many other schools. It's just like I could have done so much better. So yeah. Um I think the only going back to that question, like what worries you most in the future, I think it's I didn't answer it myself, so I'm going to answer that too. I worry about stressing too much during college. That's I think like cuz like I'm taking this from high school too. Like I've stressed so much during high school. It's not even funny. Like I stress over the littlest things ever. Like at least right now, like BC is the only class that I have so much of a workload. Every other class, it's so light. So it's kind of funny. Like I even take AP Computer Science Principles, and I know that's an easy class, but like I feel like I should get more work than I think I should. And that's crazy because compared to BC to AP Comp Sci, like obviously there's literally like a big gap difference between BC and Comp Sci Principles. So can't really say anything about that, but yeah. Stressing too much during college, yeah, so it's just like I feel like it's gonna like leak over into college, because I know college is no joke. It's gonna be so hard, especially with majoring in computer science. Well, not like engineering computer science, but like I want to do cybersecurity or software development. Those are like two fun things I want to do, and obviously cybersecurity is a better choice, so I might go for cybersecurity. It's just, I know it's going to be hard, though, to study it and perfect it. I mean, I guess not perfect it, but, like, be an expert at it. Be well knowledgeable about it. So I'm hoping when I do enter college, I won't be constantly stressed or worried about studying. So that's really it. Yeah, I hope you guys were able to answer all those. Those are just the top 3 personal reflection questions I wanted to ask about, and we actually made it to an hour, surprisingly. Actually, well, no, not yet, because I actually got to cut out some parts, so it might just reach an hour in like just a second or something like that. But yeah, that's really all I had to talk about. So I hope you guys were able to have a conversation with me there and then, and I'm sorry for like not putting an actual sort of like On Our Minds typical type of episode. It's just the fact that Varun is not here and I'm by myself, so it's kind of hard to like run one by yourself, you know what I'm saying? I feel like every podcast, it's just hard to run one by yourself because you're the only one talking, and then when you go silent to collect your thoughts, there's gonna be no one else to be there to like help you fill that silence, and then you're just gonna have to deal with like an awkward silence for like a couple seconds before I say another thought or something like that. So yeah, I hope you guys were able to take away something from here, or at least were able to interact with me. I will. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh man, you know what? I've already like started the outro, but I really wanted to quickly talk about that part of like how my week went. I also just like today I had the best all you can eat buffet I had today. Like I went to Mizumi, bro, or guys, viewers or listeners, and I was eating so much. I think I'm so fat now. No, I'm joking. I'm not fat, but I eat a lot and I feel bloated, and that's probably a reason why I'm like coughing my brains out right now, which you guys have not heard yet, but yeah, just wanted to point that out there. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Varun's obviously going to be here next week, and hopefully we'll have a guest. Hopefully we'll be able to get into that, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you guys have a good day /good night. So see y'all later.